So often people say Lumpur Cha is an arahant, or they wonder about that. So what does it actually mean, and how do these statement claims come about, and are they different in different groups, or is there some kind of consensus?
Yeah, that's a good question, isn't it? Well, in the case of Ajahn Chah, he was someone who resolutely refused to speak about his attainment ever. I mean, every now and again, you can just glean these odd phrases like, "I don't have anything. I'm not anything," which is somewhat ironic, as in other groups they say, refer to people rumored to be enlightened as they have something. So Ajahn Chah saying, "I have nothing," and others saying, "I have something." But he was someone who didn't want his disciples to get hung up on all these kind of levels of attainment and saying, what level's that monk at, and what level's this monk at, do you think he's here and there? Because it becomes a very kind of worldly activity.
Well, in Still Forest Pool, there is this quote where he says, "I have already crossed." Is that an accurate translation?
I can't remember in what context. If it is in the context of that experience when his body exploded, then I don't believe myself that was an enlightenment experience, but a samadhi experience. But this is something that monks disagree upon. But to return to the subject, it's very clear that monks have consistently overestimated, or meditators, particularly monks, consistently overestimated their experience, because in one of the suttas, you can probably remember which one, the Buddha is asked about this, whether he has disciples who believe that they're arahants and they're not, and he says yes. So even living in a community of fully realized beings led by the Buddha, it seems a danger. So Ajahn Chah would constantly tell you, don't ever assume, don't ever think that you've attained something and identify with it. And he says, just take it as, it's not sure, it's not sure. You don't have to have a label. Okay. Having said that, most of his disciples, including myself, believe that he was an arahant. Now, can I give you any evidence for this? Not really. It's just a conviction I have. So this is the nature of faith. Now there are the canonical and sutta references to arahantship, which are manifold. I could probably summarize to say that it's the abandonment of every kind of negative emotion and view. So the abandonment of all that is unwholesome. But it's not simply an abandonment and a letting go. At the same time, certain qualities replace and come to fruition in the mind of an enlightened being, an arahant. Most particularly wisdom, compassion, and that purity and freedom from defilement. So often in the Pali idiom, the negative side, what's abandoned, can seem to be emphasized more. But in one of the values of having contact with beings who have realized this, you see that it's not just this paring away until there's nothing left, but that there is this very kind of positive, inspiring persona that appears. And in terms of their lifestyle and their relationship with other people, you can see that can be incredibly powerful, committed, kind, loving. But one thing that I think is also noticeable is that certain personality traits which are not directly unwholesome do not disappear. So, for instance, if you're a very outgoing, jolly, kind of unenlightened being, you'll probably be kind of an outgoing, jolly arahant. If you're rather kind of quiet, introverted, meditation student, you'll probably become a quiet, introverted. And it's not the case that the most enlightened meditators make the best teachers. They don't necessarily have very good teaching skills. It's not something that just arises naturally. Indeed, it seems that monks who have real struggle in their practice gain from that the wisdom that helps them to be very good teachers. So Ajahn Chah is my teacher, and I have, obviously revere him. But he had these teaching skills and paramis. This is one of the reasons why you notice that monks I think you can see certain monks who have very devoted monastic communities around them, and they're very keen on teaching monks, but they don't have an ability to teach lay people. Other monks, and probably more fall into this category, they have real barami abilities for teaching lay people, but they're not able to create strong monastic communities around them and pass on their understanding to Dhamma heirs. And so often you find monasteries growing up around charismatic figures. Once they die, the monasteries sort of crumble and nobody wants to live there anymore. I would say for Ajahn Chah, you can see that he was able to teach and inspire both monks and lay people. And so he's well known around the world now. But he was also able to create structures and create a monastic community which has not only survived his death, but has increased in size and is, given certain exceptions, I would say basically in good health.